Hey, can I say on here? Is that okay? No? Okay, okay, I guess they asked me to do a video about the F word, and I thought they meant So just pretend this video is not about that. Filler. Filler is any content that can't be found in the original story, but it is added to the anime, which includes anime original scenes, episodes, and even entire arcs. Movies are technically filler as well, but they get a pass because they're not hiding among the main anime episodes. No matter how much you hate filler, you have to admit it exists for a reason. Several reasons, actually. For one, mangaka work under a brutal publication schedule in order to get their manga to the masses. But no matter how quickly they work, animators seem to catch up to their source material pretty quickly. On top of that, when anime adapts fight scenes from manga, they usually go really, really fast. A battle that stretches over several chapters of manga can be condensed into a few minutes or even seconds of animation, or in Dragon Ball's case, they do the exact opposite. So animators are constantly trying to strike a balance with mangaka. Now there are plenty of examples of anime overtaking the manga and diverging wildly from it. Fullmetal Alchemist. This Gintama gif that's plastered over every corner of the internet does a pretty good job of explaining how that all goes down. Sometimes when anime goes on its own path, the results can be amazing. Other times, you know, any of y'all remember Gohan's robot friend? Yeah, me neither, because they had to explain it to me for this video. I don't remember that. Anywho, that's why filler gets such a bad rap. Fans fall in love with a creator's story and characters, and then all of a sudden there's a whole other set of creators involved, perhaps with conflicting ideas about how the story should unfold. Or worse, the anime turns into a series of fluff episodes that don't do anything to further the plot or develop the main characters. Even if the people working on the anime want to stay 100% faithful to the source material, sometimes they just can't, because they've got deadlines to meet. It can get a little dicey, but unless we want anime to consistently eclipse its source material, filler is a necessary evil, unfortunately. But not all filler content is designed to give the manga breathing room. Take the My Hero Academia episode Save the World with Love, for example. It is definitely filler. The episode falls right in the middle of a rescue exercise for some reason. But in this case, the filler episode is there to promote two heroes, the My Hero Academia OVA. Filler episodes can also be created to promote seasonal events, products, or crossovers. And in recent years, fans have used filler to refer to any useless narrative padding that doesn't contribute to the main story. Even if a Bleach episode is in the original story, some fans might consider it filler because it doesn't have any lasting impact on the canon. I mean, what value does chopping a watermelon have? And what does this reference mean? Is it plot? Excuse me, narrative? You monsters? Okay, now this is the part of the video where I tell you filler haters out there that you've got a point. You do. Filler is a dirty word in anime fandom for a reason. At its worst, filler is just meaningless nonsense. It doesn't add to character development, it doesn't progress the story, and sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's from the same show. No matter how you slice it, many fans often avoid watching filler altogether. But I'm here to make a case for filler, and I'll be the first to say that some of my favorite episodes are technically filler. Love a beach episode. When done right, filler can be a breath of fresh air. Technically, yes, it doesn't count, but that doesn't make it inherently bad. I mean, if properly executed, a filler episode can expand the world, double down on characterization, and provide beloved characters with some extra backstory. So let me try to make a case for filler. For better or worse, manga chapters are pretty short, and most try to tell pretty huge, complicated stories. If you think about Hunter x Hunter, creator Yoshihiro Togashi throws fans into the world, introduces Gon, and has them start the first part of the Hunter exam all within the first chapter of the manga, which is a lot to take in. Now, believe it or not, in the beginning, the anime moves at a slightly slower pace than the manga, and in my opinion, that gives viewers more of a foothold in the world of the show. If you've ever seen Naruto at all, then you've already dealt with some of the most infamous filler in anime history. After Naruto Part 1 concluded, the show attempted to space itself out from the manga. And out of 100 weeks of fluff, most of the episodes were, bad. But not all of it was bad. At times, all the extensive Naruto fluff did what all good filler does. Some episodes expanded the world in meaningful ways that the manga didn't have the time to tackle. Filler gave us Hidden Waterfall Village, the Hidden Star Village, and the apocryphal Land of Noodles. It expands on the elusive 12 ninja guardians as well as the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. I can fully admit that most of Naruto's filler content is not great. I do appreciate the expanded map, but it did give us this unnecessary Elvis impersonator.
릴렉스니와 뮤직인가?
Dragon Ball franchise is also notorious for filler, but it's also given us one of the most beloved and recognizable filler episodes of all time, Dragon Ball Z's Goku's Ordeal. While watching Goku and Piccolo try to get their driver's license is an example of good Dragon Ball filler, because it's hilarious, it's also not the only one. Later in the series, a filler arc explores the Otherworld, showcasing the Otherworld tournament and introducing Pikkon and the East, West, and Grand Kais. None of them are technically canon, but each one adds some much appreciated flavor to that world. Naruto and Dragon Ball Z's filler are not necessary, but the extra information is great to have, or sometimes it just raises questions like, what the f is Pikkon? What is he? Where is he from? I'm also down with filler that manages to add to character stories. See, bad filler doesn't build on the original story, but good filler can give insight into side characters that otherwise wouldn't get their due. Remember I said some of my favorite episodes are technically filler? Well, the internship arc in My Hero Academia is a great example. Class 1A is training in their internships. The manga didn't show much of what went on in Class 1A's internships, but the anime gifted us with an entire episode dedicated to Froppy's aquatic internship. Its filler is usually interlaced with canon content, which is... You can find an extra scene or conversation in just about every single episode. Often, these scenes are fairly inconsequential, but let me give you a recent example of some filler that was actually pretty cool. Now, if you're not caught up on the whole Cake Island arc, which how would you be? Skip ahead a few seconds. If you are caught up, then you may have noticed that when Peckums, the Straw Hat's ferocious tiger friend, saves Luffy from Katakuri, Peckums enters his Sulong form, which is basically like if an animal went Super Saiyan. We never get to see Peckums in this form in the manga, so it is a special treat to see him transform in the anime. One Piece's author, Eiichiro Oda, said he wanted to include it in the manga but didn't have the time, so he let the scene happen in the anime. Of course, you could say that moment isn't part of the official canon, since Oda didn't write it, but if you split hairs like that, you could lose on a great moment in the anime. In episode 737, there are 737 episodes, we get to see what Sabo's been up to since his apparent demise. The anime really expanded on the brief flashback we got in the manga, and the new original scenes were written in collaboration with Oda. It was an incredible expansion of the manga flashback, but despite Oda's involvement, fans and the wiki still refer to the episode as non-canon. Which brings me to another point in the great filler debate. If it's not canon, why watch it? I've read a little bit about how the Japanese audience isn't invested in canonicity in the same way that Western viewers can be, but I'm also not from Japan, so I can't say that definitively. I can speak from the perspective of an American anime fan, and I can say that, yes, a lot of folks are very concerned with canon. Whether it's because non-canon episodes alter the canon timeline or create plot holes, or just that the fans want to only consume what the original creator made, canon matters to a lot of fans. If you're one of those fans, that's great, but give it a shot. Just try it. If filler was judged purely on canonicity, which I'm not even sure is a real word, then we might have to reconsider our feelings about it. Tons of filler has become canon over time, either because fans have widely accepted it as such, or because the series creator gives it their blessing. Still waiting on Piccolo being black, by the way. Still waiting for confirmation on that. Dragon Ball Z's episode Bardock has been treated as canon by fans for a long time, but it certainly didn't start out that way. Goku's father is a character born of filler, originally created by Toei Animation for the anime. The fatherly Saiyan warrior was later used for 2 panels in the manga and got a more involved backstory from Akira Toriyama almost 2 decades after that. Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, has a similar story. He began as an anime-only character, found widespread fame, and now has 3 films to show for it. Broly wasn't officially inducted into the canon until the Dragon Ball Super Broly film was released. Then there's the G8 filler arc in One Piece. It pops up in the anime at the end of the Skypiea arc, and many fans might not even realize it's filler simply because it's very good. Which tells me we definitely have a problem with how we define filler. As I pointed out earlier, for some fans, filler can describe any episode they consider fluff, regardless of whether or not it's in the source material, but I'd say that quality shouldn't really be a factor. Filler isn't defined by its quality or even by its place in the canon, as Broly and Bardock have shown us. It's defined only by the fact that it isn't originally part of the source material. So it's hard to make a sweeping judgment about the quality of filler overall. So how can we fix the concept of filler? I may not be able to protect you from the worst filler has to offer, but I do have some thoughts on how to make filler better in general. For one, maybe more manga creators should consider adopting characters and storylines from the filler into their source material. Toriyama did it with Broly, and it's not technically filler, but Oda takes names, birthdays, and other character information from fans all the time. So why not adopt some of the strongest filler as well? And I'd suggest fans take a similar approach by not being Tolls, calm down. Just watch filler as if it's canon rather than trying to parse through what counts and what doesn't. Cause it's all entertainment. It's fun. Who cares if they don't have to drive? They have their licenses now, and maybe it'll come up again later. I don't know. If you do end up being a hardcore fan of a series, you'll have plenty of time and energy to devote to separating the canon from filler. If you're not that kind of fan, that's fine too. I'm not, and I work here. Asking creators and fans to be more generous with filler will not solve its biggest problem, that a lot of it is just bad. Whose job is it to make sure stuff is good? Whole shows are not good. In a perfect world, all filler would feel like a welcome extension of the story we've come to love in the manga. The best filler would focus on anime original characters or breathe a little more life into side characters who don't have much space in the source material. Filler could contribute to characterization and world building without messing with the sanctity of the source material's plot and characters. I think it's great when shows have their filler cast stick around for non-filler episodes. 3 characters introduced during Bleach's Bout filler arc stuck around after the arc's conclusion. The anime used that trio as an alternate cast that only takes the spotlight in filler arcs. It's a smart move because viewers can build an emotional attachment to them, but they can also get killed off with minimal repercussions. There's emotional payoff without messing with the original story, which is cool, because we like violence. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that yes, a lot of filler is bad, but a lot of it is not. And also a lot of stuff is bad. So, stop. Who cares? Just watch the show. If you're like me, there are some shows that you love so much that you'd be happy watching any new episode, whether it's filler or not. It can be worthwhile to let your heart, rather than the canon, be your guide. Because if it wasn't for filler, we wouldn't have great moments like this. What moment is this? I'm Udoye, and thanks for watching GetintheRobot, your anime explainer. Stop being weird. Just watch the show. It's fine.